So growing up, I was really into superhero stuff. The Spider-Man game on PS1, and I would play that all the time. I was really into the Spider-Man movies and the X-Men movies. I would try and get my hands on any superhero property stuff that I could. And at some point, I picked up this. This is a 3-movie box set of terrible superhero films. So after X-Men and Spider-Man came out, and they did really well, Marvel kept trying. So we ended up with a Fantastic Four movie, we had Daredevil, we had Elektra. They did a Punisher movie at some point, I think. The early 2000s was the Wild West of superhero movies. Some of them were really good, and then some of them were Daredevil. So today I've watched Daredevil, and now I'm going to talk about it. This is one of those ones, and the DVDs aren't full-size DVDs. They're this really thin, weird one. I also just want to talk about the fact that this is the front cover, and that's meant to be Jennifer Garner as Elektra. She looks nothing like that in the movie. I don't even know if this is a picture of Jennifer Garner. It definitely doesn't look like her, and she's not ginger in the film. So I'm a bit confused. The Daredevil movie gets a lot of flack, and most of it is earned, but I don't think it's as bad as people say it is. A lot of the bad stuff in the movie is just early 2000s weirdness. You'll know it when you see it. Playing heavy metal songs in the middle of your movie, during action scenes and stuff, and terrible CGI. This movie's got it all. The basic plot of the movie is Daredevil he's a superhero, but he's blind, but all his other senses are heightened to superhuman levels. So he can basically paint a picture for himself of his surroundings using his hearing. He's a lawyer by day and vigilante by night, trying to bring justice in whatever way he can. So at the start of the film, he's lawyering a case, and the guy he's trying to get done goes free. And so at night, he daredevils up, and he goes and murders this man. Yeah, it's a bit weird, because for the rest of the film, he is opposed to murder. He's got an ongoing thing where he's I'm not the bad guy, or am I? But he's dressed as a devil as well. That's not a good thing. So he's got this inner turmoil. Am I doing the right thing? But the answer is yes, he is. The movie tells us so. So the main villain of the movie is Kingpin, played by Michael Clark Douglas. He's a big crime lord dude. And there's also Bullseye, played by Colin Farrell. I really like Colin Farrell in everything. He's clearly having a lot of fun here. It's still bad. So Kingpin is behind everything. Daredevil wants to stop him. And at the end of the movie, he's beaten Kingpin. And Kingpin's on the ground. And Daredevil's I've been waiting for this moment since I was 12 years old. And he picks up this big stick and he's gonna smash it down on him. But he misses on purpose. And he's I'm not the bad guy. But 5 minutes before this moment, he threw Bullseye out of a church window, at least 3 or 4 floors up, and he landed on a police car. And then he made a quip about it. Whether Daredevil's fine with killing people or not is up for debate. So the movie starts, and it starts with a flash forward. The thing we see at the start actually happens 3/4 of the way through the film. It's right near the end. But while it's there, he's having little flashbacks of the stuff that happened halfway through the movie. They don't stay on them long enough for you to actually get what's going on. You just see characters. And then he's they say when you die, your whole life flashes before your eyes. That's true even for a blind man or something. From the flash forward of the end of the film, we have a flashback past the start of the film to when he was a child. And then it gives us his whole backstory. When I was talking about early 2000s weirdness, it's got a very on the nose thing that happens. Daredevil's real name is Matt Murdock, and he's like a little kid at the time. He's like 12 years old, and he's getting picked on, and the kids like beat him up. And he goes home, and he sees his dad, and his dad's an ex-boxer, but now he's drunk because he's old and he can't box anymore. And his dad's like, don't end up like me, son. Be a doctor or a lawyer or something. And then Matt's like, I heard you were working for this bad dude. And his dad's like, nope, I'm not working for a bad dude at all. And that's like that scene. Like, Matt promises that he's gonna try really hard at school and become a lawyer / doctor. This is just set up for like the great scene that's about to happen. So in voiceover, Ben Affleck's like, one day I decided to take a shortcut home. And he goes into this like alleyway and he sees his dad like beating up a dude. and it's like, oh no, his dad was actually working for that bad dude, beating people up. And child Matt Murdock drops his report card in a puddle and we get a close-up of it and he's got all A's. Oh, Matt kept his end of the bargain, but his dad didn't. Oh. And then he runs off and gets blinded by acid. And we get a bad CGI effect of this happening. It like goes inside his eye and you see like everything like burning up, and it's really weird. So Matt's now blind, but he's got like these superpowers. And there's like a cool scene where he's in hospital and he starts like hearing, and he gets like a picture of like everything around him, but it's really unfocused. He hears cars outside and he thinks they're like right near him. It's actually pretty good. Like, the worst part of it is that it's like early 2000s CGI, so it looks bad. But it's a cool idea, and they keep using like the Daredevil vision for the whole film. So we started the movie with a flash forward that lasted like a couple of minutes. Then we go for a flashback that goes on for like another 10 minutes. Then we get to regular time. It's now when the movie takes place. So the movie actually like starts okay. Like, they put some care into how they portray Ben Affleck as this blind man. So he's like getting ready for his day, and he's got like these little braille tags on all his suits so he can check what colour they are or something. All his money is in like things with like braille on the side to tell you how much is in it. It's nice little details that they then don't have for the rest of the movie. In a pre-Iron Man role, we have Jon Favreau in this film as Foggy, who is like Matt's lawyer partner. He's kind of like the same role Jon Favreau plays in every movie. He's a likable kind of an idiot. He's fine. One of the things I do like about the film, obviously as a blind character, Daredevil will perceive the world differently than we will as the audience. A lot of the film is shot, and it's like the early fight sequences, at least, like it's quite dark and like claustrophobic, and you can't really tell what's going on, but they use sound in a really interesting way. There's all this fighting going on and it'll be really loud, but Daredevil won't be listening to that. He'll be listening to like someone breathing over there, because that's the guy he's like trying to get, which is a cool way of doing it, but it makes it kind of like weird to see as the audience. We can't tell what's going on, and it's kind of disorienting like watching this as the audience. I appreciate the effort to like do something different and try and show this in a film. So yeah, Daredevil chases this dude to like a subway station, and he like throws him onto the tracks, and he gets hit by a train. So Daredevil murdered a man, but that's fine, I guess. So I mentioned that they do things in a very like on the nose kind of way, and the way they show that Daredevil can't like have a normal relationship with people because he's busy all the time is he returns to his apartment after like fighting this dude, and he has a voicemail, and he listens to the voicemail, and we hear like the whole thing. Hey Matt, it's Heather. Are you there? Of course you're not there. You're never there. Where do you go in the middle of the night? And it's like, this isn't how people speak. I understand that you need to like show us that he can't have a normal relationship with a person because he has to disappear off to do superhero thing. There was probably a better way to do it than this. This isn't like plot related or anything, but he gets back and he like takes some painkillers, and instead of like putting the tablet in his mouth and like drinking it, he just like munches them. He chews them all up. What? Another thing about Matt Murdock, he sleeps in a metal coffin full of water for some reason. Ben Affleck and Jon Favreau are sat having a coffee in a cafe, and then Ben Affleck, he like sniffs Jennifer Garner while she's outside. He like goes, "Oh, there's a woman coming," and he like asks Jon Favreau how attractive she is. It's really weird. And then he goes to talk to her, and he's like, "I'm Matt Murdock. Wait, I didn't get your name." And she's like, "I didn't give you my name." And she like leaves. He's clearly made her very uncomfortable. And then he follows her. Like, this is our hero, and he like creepily follows women. It's not great. He like catches up with her, and he's like, "I just want to get to know you." And she's like, "Yeah, well, like, don't, and leave me alone." And then they have a fight in a playground, and it's meant to be like a playful, like, I don't even know, just a couple of highly trained martial artists having a playful fight in a children's playground, as you do. But the whole thing is just really weird. I don't know why they did this. So at the end of the scene, they're in love now or something. So this movie likes to do some weird little scenes that don't show a lot. So that's basically how they introduce us to Bullseye. So we have a scene with Kingpin. He says to his assistant, who's called Wesley, who doesn't really do anything in the film, but he has very bad hair. He's got like frosted tips. That's very early 2000s. And he says, "Get Bullseye." And then we cut to where Bullseye is. Bullseye's in a pub just throwing loads of bullseyes with darts, because we need to know he's good at throwing stuff. And while the scene's going on, there's some very Irish themed rap. Like, they keep mentioning leprechauns and stuff. And it's a bit weird. That's about all I've got to say about that. It's just really weird. Bullseye doesn't say anything in the scene. Then he murders someone using paper clips. He like bends out the paper clips so they're just like metal things, and he just like throws like 5 of them at this dude's throat. This movie's rated 15, by the way. It was an R-rated superhero film before Deadpool was. But anyway, next time we see Deadpool, he's on a plane and he's listening to heavy metal music. He's a cool dude. But there's this old woman sat next to him on the plane who won't stop talking to him, and he gets really agitated. And he flicks a peanut and it goes into her mouth and she chokes and dies. So Bullseye has murdered 2 people in like comedic throwing stuff at them ways before he even says anything. And then like the cabin crew person comes round. She's like, "Do you need anything?" It's like, "Some more peanuts, please." Just murdered a woman with some peanuts. I watched this movie planning on making a video about it, so I like made some notes, and it made me realize the movie's not like noticeably bad. Like, the CGI is weird and there's some weird plot decisions and editing decisions, but it's nothing terrible. It's just the whole thing, when you put it together, just doesn't work at all. It's mostly a boring movie rather than a laughably bad movie. Like, it's mostly funny now watching it 15 years later, just for like the early 2000s-ness of it. Later on, Elektra, played by Jennifer Garner, I've like barely mentioned her. She's the one who Ben Affleck sniffs from afar. Her dad gets murdered and it gets pinned on Daredevil, so she's like, "I'm gonna kill Daredevil." And she's got like a training montage, but the song that's playing during it is "Bring Me to Life" by Evanescence. So the scene like cuts between Elektra and Daredevil. They're both like gearing up to go out and fight people. So Daredevil wants to go fight Bullseye because Bullseye actually killed Elektra's dad. Elektra wants to kill Daredevil because she thinks he killed her dad. And so this scene, it edits with the song so that when the woman is singing, when it does the "How can you see into my eyes, like open doors," it's like on Elektra. And then when it cuts to like the man rapping, it cuts to Daredevil. So it's like got the woman singing and it goes, "Wake me up," and it looks at Daredevil like doing his Daredevil outfit and putting it on. Oh, we play a good chunk of the song with this scene, and it's really, really funny looking at it now. Like, probably at the time, this was a fine way to do the scene, but it's just weird 15 years later. I didn't even mention, earlier in the movie, there's a moment, and it's like, when Ben Affleck and Jennifer Garner are like, they love each other, they're gonna have a nice moment, and they go up on this rooftop, and it starts raining, and because Daredevil, he's got like heightened other senses, there's so much rain, when it like plops on someone, he can like get like a proper good visual picture of what they look like. So he's like, let's stand in the rain so I can get a good look at you. It's still weird, but it's less weird than I just described it. So it's raining, they're like having a fun make-out sesh on the roof. But then Daredevil, with super hearing, hears like someone like getting robbed or something, and he's like, I've got to go. And then Elektra's like, no, stay. And then he does stay. He doesn't go and help this person in need. Instead, him and Elektra bone in front of a fire. There's no moment in the film where like this comes back to haunt him. No, Daredevil, your duty is to the people of Hell's Kitchen instead of yourself. No, it's like, you're fine to do it. With great power comes great responsibility, apart from when you can get laid. There's actually a cool moment that like echoes the rain bit later on in the film. I was talking about like Elektra's dad getting murdered. Like, I kind of like jumped past this whole bit. But at the funeral, it starts raining, and Daredevil's like, oh, I can see her and whatever. He's like, oh, stay with me. And then she puts her umbrella up, and then he can't see her anymore because the rain's not like plopping on her face. Which is kind of a cool idea. It just looks bad because of the 2000s CGI. So after the Evanescence sequence, I'm jumping back ahead again. I'm just like the movie, I'm flashing back and forward all over the place. After the training sequence, Elektra, Daredevil, and Bullseye all meet on a rooftop to have a rumble. Elektra and Daredevil get there first, and Elektra just like freaking stabs Daredevil through the shoulder, and he's having a bad time. And then she takes his mask off, and she's like, oh no, it's my boyfriend. I'm sorry I stabbed you. What a mare. And then Bullseye turns up, and he's like, now I'm gonna murder you. And he stabs her, like, right through the stomach, and she dies. Then the police turn up, and they find her dead body, and Daredevil's gone off somewhere. Like, he's still being stabbed through the shoulder, but he's gonna be fine. He runs off to the church, and Bullseye comes in, and they have a fight in the church. It's not very exciting. Bullseye, his like superpower is he's good at throwing stuff, but they don't do anything with it. He's got like these little like shuriken kind of things, and he throws them all at Daredevil, and they all miss because Daredevil can dodge things really well. And then he like smashes a window, and he catches all the bits of broken glass, and is really goofy. And then he throws all those at Daredevil, and Daredevil dodges all of those as well. Daredevil's weakness is like, if you make a loud noise, then it throws him off because he uses that to like see where he is. So he uses that, and then he beats him, and he's like, I'm gonna stab you with this big thing now. And we have the best bad CGI moment in the entire film, maybe ever. It is hilarious to look at. So Colin Farrell, Bullseye, has Daredevil on the ground, and he picks up this massive like wooden stake, and he's holding it like this. And he goes to stab him, Daredevil catches it, and then we're looking at it from like the side, like this. And then the camera, in bad CGI, like matrixes all the way around, so we're looking at it from the other side, then like zooms out through the church window to the scope of a gun that's looking at the window, because it's like a police SWAT dude, and then it matrixes around the gun so it's looking the other way, and then the gun shoots, and we follow the bullet in like blue weird Daredevil vision as it flies through the window and through both of Colin Farrell's hands. And this whole sequence lasts like 5 seconds. It's so weird. Like, I don't think me explaining it has done it justice. But you know in The Matrix, where like Trinity like jumps up in the air and she's like, whoa, and then the camera like goes all around her. It doesn't make that noise. I don't know why I did that. But it does that on the like, then with the stake, it's trying to stab Daredevil, and then with the gun that we've weirdly zoomed out for. So Colin Farrell gets his hand shot through, and then Daredevil just like throws him out the window. So he didn't like save the day on his own. He just got lucky, and a policeman shot his hands for him. And luckily, Colin Farrell explained who Kingpin was in explicit detail. So after this scene, Daredevil just goes off and fights him. And then that's the end of the movie. Like, the fight isn't particularly exciting. The most interesting parts of the film are just like baffling, weird choices of CGI. Like, at the start of the movie, they put a CGI rat. There's just a CGI rat for no reason. And it's like, this looks terrible. Why did you do this? So, throughout the film, whenever, like, Kingpin has someone murdered, he, like, leaves a rose on their body. It's like his thing. So, at the start of the film, when Daredevil's dad gets killed in that flashback, when Daredevil finds him, he's got, like, a rose on him. And when Elektra's dad gets killed, he also has a rose on him. When he like beats Kingpin and he like leaves, he goes to the place where his dad died. He's got a rose with him and he like throws it down and he's like, "This is for you, Dad." Yeah, I'm sure he really appreciates you throwing down a rose. I bet he's got some good memories attached to that particular flower that was left on his corpse when he died. I think that's all I've got to say about Daredevil. I guess this is going to be like a 3-part series as I watch all of these Milvies. As I watch all of these movies. Elektra is going to be next. I can't wait for that. Do you want to know what the box says for it? Just about the sexiest superhero film of all time. I can't wait.